Sons of Fire, Chapter 16, The Reconstruction, by Kadairath. Laws of the Master.
The Master teaches that all laws, whether divine or human, are imperfect and inevitably cause some sorrow. But a worthy law must produce more happiness and prevent more suffering than it causes. Pleasure and goodness are always accompanied by restrictions, and both joy and sorrow are essential for shaping human nature. Because individuals differ, standards are set to attract those who strive for the best. The soul requires discipline through spiritual and material restraints to rise above earthly elements, just as the body needs fitness. Laws suppress aspects of human nature, necessitating restraint and forbearance. But just laws also curb evils and harmful influences, while minimizing restrictions on individuals, as all laws cost freedom. Sons of Fire, Chapter 16, The Reconstruction, by Kadairath. The Master was seated at his table, and about him in a half-circle were those he instructed, and he taught them in this manner. My brothers, these are the ordinances of living and the laws, which are the ordinances of men. No law, whether it be of the Supreme Spirit or of man, wholly produces happiness and causes no sorrow. So, to be worthy and good, an ordinance or law must produce more contentment and happiness than it prevents. It must also prevent more sorrow and confusion than it produces, or it would be a work of wickedness and a memorial to the follies of men. Pleasure never comes unadulterated, and no form of goodness which man seeks to promote is unencumbered with restriction. Nonetheless, there is no form of goodness which is unproductive of happiness in the hands of those governed with wisdom. Joy and sorrow, pain and pleasure, success and failure are all molding processes operating on the spirits and natures of men. Neither of the opposites is of less importance than the other. These were the things taught. The nature of every person is different, and all tend to drift towards the circles which accord with their natures. Therefore, we set a standard which not all will find acceptable, so that only those whose natures demand the best find our company congenial. Unless the soul of each man and woman is developed and disciplined by the restraints of spiritual and material decrees, it cannot rise above its earthly elements. As the earthly body must be kept fit by discipline and self-control, and becomes gross and weak through overindulgence or indifference, so is the spirit controlling the body required to exercise restraint. Every law, whether arising in the sphere of the spirit or the sphere of matter, suppresses something arising out of the nature of man, and therefore calls for the exercise of restraint and forbearance. Yet is it not true that, though every just law restrains something within men and women, it also restricts evil and things which are not good? The less a law imposes upon men and women, and the more it imposes upon the things detrimental to their welfare, the better the law. All laws are paid for out of the treasury of freedom. The lower the cost, the better the law. The laws of earthly rulers are kept by force of arms, but the keeping of the higher spiritual laws can only be ensured through enlightenment and wisdom. The causes of misjudgments, sorrow, and remorse stem more frequently from breaches in spiritual laws than in earthly ones. Moral laws and restraints are essential to the progress and welfare of mankind. When passions are unrestricted and weaknesses unfenced by moral laws, various forms of vice and perversions become accepted and sap the stamina of nations. When the abnormal is given free access to intrude upon the normal, the nation degenerates, the race is contaminated, and mankind suffers a reverse. The great law places an obligation upon mankind to improve itself. Every man and woman must safeguard their heritage and raise themselves above earthly sordidness. This is one of the reasons for living. The struggle of life is with man. The struggle of man is with himself. Wise leaders in every land and age have made laws restraining the weak and abnormal from satisfying their carnal appetites and immoral urges. If their own uncontrolled desires were allowed freedom to dictate their actions, then not only would the weak and abnormal destroy themselves, but they would be like a cancer in the living body of mankind. The sacred books tell us that the nature of man contains a sense of shame. This is so, and it is there that he may also know the meaning of decency and be proud of himself as a man. It is there to make a better state known to him, a state of spiritual cleanliness and purity. Such knowledge does not come naturally to man, any more than good pastures come naturally to the husbandman. The city over the hill was founded in goodness, and its founders were not men who found pleasure in wickedness. Nonetheless, as the years passed, it became apparent that all was not well within its walls. Now, because of the inclination of its inhabitants, the city's days are numbered. Men come across the sea in ships from the south, bringing things much sought after by the people who surround us, who go into the city to exchange the things they have caught or grown, or which have been dug out of the ground. Things are exchanged in the marketplace of the city, but they are for the enjoyment of the body, not the satisfaction of the soul. Nonetheless, men will always be driven by their very natures to seek for and obtain things which do not satisfy any earthly appetite. Such things are those which delight the hearts of men by their beauty, or bring inward joy and contentment. Also things which bring pleasure to loved ones, and things which inspire men to noble deeds. With all the earthliness of man, the things most sought and desired are those which stir the forces within the soul, and not the forces within the body. When it is otherwise, mankind will slip backwards towards the beasts. This is rewritten in our tongue through a rethinking of the text by Aniwadol. Here ends the Reconstruction by Kadairath. So here's what we've learned. Laws are needed for civilized living. While worldly goods satisfy bodily appetites, true fulfillment comes from seeking things that delight the heart, bring inward joy, please loved ones, and inspire noble deeds. These pursuits stir the soul, and when focus shifts solely to material desires, humanity regresses toward a base state. Thank you for watching. Peace and blessings to you and yours.